You might be wondering, is the Big Five test actually accurate, or are you wasting your time? Today, I'll break down how to tell if a personality test is reliable and show you exactly how to take the Big Five test yourself.
One thing that is important for these tests is to understand how they measure accuracy. I'm going to show you 4 criteria to look out for. Reliability in a test refers to the consistency and dependability of a test. It tells us how consistently the test produces the same results under the same conditions. High reliability means that the test is precise and free from random error. Cronbach's alpha is a statistical score that shows how consistently a set of questions on a personality test measures the same trait. For example, if a test has several questions all intended to measure extroversion, like I'm talkative and I make friends easily, Cronbach's alpha tells you if people's answers to those extroversion questions go together consistently. A high alpha score means people who agree on one extroversion question also tend to agree with the other extroversion questions on the test. Their responses are reliable and consistent for that trait. A low alpha suggests people's responses are inconsistent across just the extroversion questions. Their answers don't reliably line up for measuring that single extroversion trait well. As you can see here, the Cronbach's alpha should not be lower than 0.60. Scores higher than 0.80 are assessed as good. On the factors shown below, the coefficient is 0.88, which is considered very high. Therefore, if you were to take the Big Five test today and then take it again in another week, a high Cronbach's alpha means that you should score similarly both times. Construct validity means a personality test accurately measures the intended traits it claims to measure. Factor analysis shows if questions meant to measure the same trait, like extroversion, actually group together statistically into their own distinct extroversion factor. If extroversion questions like I'm talkative and I make friends easily form their own factor separate from the other traits, it supports the test validity and captures the extroversion trait. However, if the extroversion questions don't group together, but mix with other traits questions, it raises concerns the test doesn't actually measure extroversion as a unique trait. It would be like somebody who likes being around people also strongly agreeing that they prefer to work alone. Those responses contradict the extroversion trait. The difference between factor analysis and Cronbach's alpha. Factor analysis for construct validity. Let's say a dog lover's test claims to measure how much you love dogs. If the questions like, I enjoy petting dogs and I would get a dog as a pet grouped together into one factor, it supports the test validly capturing the dog-loving construct as intended. However, if I'm allergic to dogs also groups with those questions, it raises validity concerns about measuring dog-loving accurately. Cronbach's alpha for internal consistency. Now, just looking at the questions grouped as the dog-loving factor, a high Cronbach's alpha means that I enjoy petting dogs and I would get a dog questions are answered consistently. People who agree with one also tend to agree with the other. A low alpha means people's responses are inconsistent across those dog-loving questions, suggesting that factor may not reliably measure the intended construct well. In summary, factor analysis examines if questions group together in a way that represents the concept or personality trait it claims to measure. Cronbach's alpha indicates if questions already grouped to measure one personality trait, like extroversion, are answered reliably and consistently. Measuring data through norms. Norms are data from a sample group that represents the intended test takers. To set norms, researchers carefully look at demographics like age, gender, education, and jobs in the sample. They make sure that the sample accurately matches the target population. For a working adult personality test, the norm sample must have the right mix of working ages, education levels, and jobs. With good norms, a person's test scores can be compared to scores from people like them. Now that you understand what it looks like to measure test accuracy, let's take a look at what it looks like to take the test, and I will also give you some tips on what to do if you get stuck. You can take the Big Five personality test by going to 123test.com. I'll put the link in the description. According to 123test.com, this test is considered the most scientifically validated and reliable psychological model for measuring personality. I'm going to set up a few expectations for the test so you understand what to expect and what to get out of it. This is not a skills or abilities test. It does not measure your abilities or skills. Instead, it focuses on your personality traits and behavioral patterns. It's not a simple preferences test. This isn't just about what you like or dislike. It delves deeper into your consistent patterns of thinking, feeling, and behaving. It's not perfect, but scientifically valid according to 123test.com. While no test is flawless, the Big Five is backed by decades of research, making it one of the most robust and widely accepted models of personality structure. Some tips for taking the test are to take it when you're in a good mood. And then if you get stuck, you can put the question into ChatGPT or any other GPT model and ask it to clarify things for you. So on this page, there are some instructions to note when you're taking the test. Here in this test number 33, I was confused what they meant by I enjoy wild flights of fantasy. So basically, I just let Copilot know that I'm taking the Big Five personality test and I don't understand this question, and I pasted it into there. So this is what it looks like to get your test results. If you wanted to pay for the test, you could get the full summary of your test sent to you. Based on my test results, for me, openness to experience, my percentile was 81. So if we look at this chart here on understanding the score, it explains what the ranges are. Mine was high for openness to experience, so it's going to sit right here on the chart here.
The last tip that I have for you is to make sure to save your test results. So on the page, once you get them, if you click print report, you can save it as a PDF. If it prompts you, I highly recommend making an account because you'll be able to see your test results if you have the account. And you can also choose to upgrade to the extended report if you ever want to. And then that way you won't have to take the test again. If you choose to upgrade to the extended report, you get a lot more information about your personality, which could be really helpful for self-reflection. Understanding test accuracy is just one piece of the puzzle. Most people never fully unlock the test's potential. Let's put it all together. In my playlist, I teach you what the Big Five personality traits are, the fascinating history of how the Big Five was discovered, and how to use the Big Five test results to get better self-reflection with ChatGPT.